Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
I'm Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Once again, thanks to everybody for hanging out with us during our Rampage watch along. If you want to check out our Rampage review, it's available right now on the YouTube and, of course, wherever audio podcasts can be found. Before we get into Smackdown tonight, do us a favor, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And if you're listening to us in the audio realm, give us a rating, review, or a comment. And remember, this coming Sunday, we're going to be live at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson for our all-out watch-along and recap. Should be a lot of fun. We got our predictions in the Rampage review. So that should be a lot of fun. But we're here to talk about SmackDown. We're 1 week away from a huge Madison Square Garden card that was set up tonight. Brock Lesnar was confirmed to be at the Madison Square Garden.
He'll be there.
show.
We're going to get Edge versus Seth Rollins 2, their rematch.
That is going to be a killer match.
Yeah, I would imagine probably the main event. I imagine they'll pull out all the stops they can to make the show feel as huge and as special. I mean, I don't remember the last time that WWE did a TV show from Madison Square Garden. They've run house shows there. They have their customary, I think, day after Christmas house show at MSG. I can't remember the last time they actually did a broadcast from there.
Like a regular broadcast,
Yeah, they're going to try their best to make it a special moment. And what they've announced so far is definitely going to help in that regard. Overall, I thought there was a lot to like in SmackDown tonight. I thought the booking of that main event between Roman and Finn was actually really darn good. And Roman is getting really, really, really good at kicking out at like literally the last millisecond before 3. Because when Finn hit that coup de grace, I knew going into that, I knew Roman wasn't losing that belt.
Sure, yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah, you figure, we talked about this today on the show when we were previewing this. I figured that they'd give Finn Balor, he fought Brock, right? Didn't Finn fight? Yeah, he was one of, Brock always had the best matches with the smaller guys like Finn, Ray, et cetera, et cetera. And I figured they'd give this match the same type of feel as that, and sure enough, they did. Finn came so close with that coup de grace, but couldn't quite get the job done. There was an inadvertent or advertent low blow on a kick out.
Oh, advertent
confirmed.
Yes, we've seen him do it before.
Tribal Heat has a pattern.
Yes,
he's done it before.
Pattern of doing that. And they did all they could basically to protect that loss for Finn. He got beat down pretty good by the Usos prior to the match even starting. It's a pretty solid babyface moment for Finn to take that level of beatdown, go through the match, and at several moments come very close to winning it. We knew he's going to come short in the end, but it's a strong performance. There's enough there for him to say, whether it's Extreme Rules or somewhere else down the line, you may have beat me, Roman, but, it took the Usos beat me up beforehand to get that result. Let's run it back without the beatdown beforehand,
Well, not just that, though, but they also maybe teased. There was some ambiguity to it, I guess. The possibility they're going to bring back the Demon at the very end of the show when Roman's walking up. Now, commentary was talking about Brock, but there was like a flash of red-orange light and what some people described as a heartbeat. Maybe foreshadowing the return.
It's entirely possible.
So
I didn't hear the heartbeat when that happened. I just saw the flash of light, and the color of the light looked very similar to what Brock has on his Tron. And since commentary is mentioning Brock, that flash up, I made the Brock association as opposed to the Demon because I didn't hear the heartbeat.
I was getting on WWE's Twitter account right now just to see if they. Oh, cool! They're doing 205 highlights. It's like a bunch of heavyweights. What is this? I think it's Josh Briggs and Joe Gacy. Two guys are like decidedly not. That's like a 600-pound match right there.
Pretty close to it, yeah.
So no, I'm getting on their thing just to see if. Oh, here we go. Okay, so yeah, the WWE Twitter account with the red light, it just says, "What was that?" And I'm trying to look at Finn back there, but like the mat definitely, like the lights go red on the mat, especially.
Okay.
And so yeah, unless it's the Fiend, but yeah, everybody's blowing it up. The replies like it's the Demon, and I doubt if it was Brock, it would have been that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. This is a terrible idea, but it's entirely possible. You want to protect Roman, you want to protect Brock. What if you do a triple threat with the Demon and Brock and Roman, and Demon eats the pin? Would they ever do that? Is that a terrible idea?
Well, that's two different questions. Would they ever do it? Yes.
You think they would? You think the Fiend, or I'm sorry, the Fiend. He's in AEW now. Or he's gonna be. Balor, you think the Demon would take a pin for a Brock Roman match? They protected the Demon.
They did, but he lost at NXT. The Demon lost at NXT.
Yeah, but that's not the same way. I mean, the thing is, Finn also said that current Finn is actually elevated above the Demon because he's the guy who learned how to use the Demon stuff.
Exactly.
But that's not canon. On main roster, Demon has been very protected.
Yeah, but Demon Balor has never had to face the likes of Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns. Is it possible? Yes. Likely? No.
Okay. All right. You think that's so? Demon is probably going to be what they run. So Brock shows up from Madison Square Garden, and then he leaves for God knows how long. And instead, you do Demon Roman,
and then Roman will pin Demon Balor clean.
Totally. Yeah. You're probably right about that. Yeah. Roman is running through it would be so great if Balor. God, what if Balor was the guy? Wouldn't that be awesome? He's so
pretty
good.
Cool. He is so good. He's
so
on an absolute tear these days in terms of his in-ring performance. He's been on a whole other level.
Oh, he's been absolutely great. Probably the highlight of the whole show for him. That was a great match. Highlight segment for me was Bianca Becky. I can't tell you how impressed I am that. So like the pressure that these performers must feel in certain situations has got to be out of control, right? Like to be in there with Becky Lynch, you got a crowd. And while Becky was in there on her promo, they were clearly dicking with the crowd audio. I don't know what response the crowd was giving her.
So let me ask you this. So when Becky came out, she got a lot of cheers.
Sure, yeah.
I thought I heard a couple boos, but by the time she got in the ring, the whole crowd basically sounded like they were chanting Becky.
They were, yeah.
And then when she mentioned Bianca, I thought I heard some boos.
There were boos.
Okay. And that sounded legit.
That was legit. Because she mentioned it. Look, it's gonna be, and I have some faith in Becky. It's gonna be a bit of a process to get people to respond the way I think they want them to respond, because she's out there and people just love to see Becky. She has a magnetic personality.
Mm-hmm.
When she is cutting a promo and people are happy to see her, any opponent she brings up, could be Santa Claus, could be anybody, people are going to boo. They are. And this is literally what you had said, the problem with trying to turn her heel. Now, I still think that if the idea is to get Bianca over even bigger than she is, then have at it, try it, and have Becky job to Bianca at some point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think that when Bianca came out, crowd gave her cheers, and they responded really well to Bianca, and maybe these promos are exactly what they need to get those crowds to turn. And Bianca has improved so much, even from like WrestleMania, being in these high profile situations. She's across the ring from Becky, and she didn't stutter or stammer, and she had a lengthy promo where she had to drop basically some poetry on Becky when she's talking about the EST, the S, the great S, the tough S. Fluid as can be, didn't come off as nervous at all, looked like $1 million. She stood toe-to-toe with Becky, and I really liked it. I thought this segment was absolutely killer, and I just wish that they would. No, I like this segment. I don't know if I would critique this segment at all. I'm just sort of curious about the crowd audio while Becky was talking. Were they trying to dull the cheers? Maybe that's what they were trying to do. It was just really muddy audio in the crowd. I'm like, they're doing something here.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah, I think the pivot point for the whole thing is whenever because obviously this Becky heel turn, whatever it is, at this juncture is not full bore.
Yeah, you know sure. I mean? This is a process. Yeah.
Yeah. And now when they get to the point where it gets to be full bore heel turn Becky or 100% heel Becky, will they be able to put the work in advance so the crowd buys into it? Mm-hmm. So when Becky comes out, there's not cheers. When she starts talking, there's not Becky chants. When she says, well, where's my you deserve it last week? In the crowd, immediately, you deserve it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
When do they get to the point where that all ends?
I mean, the problem,
or if they can.
People just love being there right now because nobody's been to a wrestling show in forever. And B, they love Becky. I don't know the answer to that question. I honestly think it's going to be, I don't know, name a heel that people cheer for at first and they turn. I mean, it happens kind of all the time, you know, like The Rock. I'll just throw The Rock out there when he was a bad guy. People loved, you know, he comes out when he was a bad guy, but people were really loving what he did. He'd come out and they cheer him until he would say something anti-crowd, you know? And Becky might just be in that same position where and it's going to take her doing some really underhanded shit. And she's smart in that she references and commentary plays it up when she lies, like she did tonight about Bianca complaining, which Bianca never did. Mm-hmm. She literally said, I'm not making excuses for myself. I messed up. I wasn't ready. You're right. And it's sticking with Bianca. And every time Bianca mentions it, it's 26 seconds. It's great because Bianca's like, man, I can't believe I did that. But it's her journey. I think it's going to be one of those things where they're going to cheer Becky because she's that magnetic. And when she does something underhanded or when Bianca comes out, they're going to be siding with Bianca because she's the face. She's the good guy. And at the end of the day, when Becky's doing something shitty to the people, to the person that people really, really like also, they're going to boo Becky. So, I mean, is she going to be like Rock levels of, or I don't know, who's like the greatest heel of all people hated? She's not going to be that, whatever that is. She's not going to be the person that people are going to be throwing garbage at. But she can, you know, that's a good goal to have anyways.
Yeah. I mean, I think if it's a situation where Zoe Conrada says Becky has to tell the crowd their local sports team sucks, I don't want to hear that. That's just the cheapest, easiest way to try to get heel heat.
Okay, but Becky's really clever.
I know.
She could do it in a really clever way.
Yeah, I mean, she could probably phrase it in a way that's like, okay, that's clever. But at the same time, it feels like the tried and true formula. Oh, we'll run down the crowd. I turned bad because of all you. You didn't appreciate me.
That's
no one sent me a card when I was away. You know, that kind of stuff.
Okay, but what she did, do you like where do you stand on what she did tonight with when she came out and said, you know, I didn't get the you deserve it chance? Because that's approaching that territory.
It is, but it's not, you know, like hammer get home. It's not, oh, I turned bad because of you people.
And I would be surprised if she was unsubtle about it.
Again, I'm just going by what we've seen for WWE historically. Usually when someone turns heel, the very first thing they do is go cut a promo on the crowd about how they feel underappreciated by the WWE universe. They fall back on old patterns and old formulas, and I just don't want to see it because it's at that point where things start to get tepid and stale.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And I just don't want that to happen. If they got an interesting take on this and they roll with it, cool.
Ricky here.
I just don't want to see them falling back on you know, old formulas.
I'll get to Ricky's comment here in a second. I'll just counter with this real quick. We typically don't give WWE the benefit of the doubt. I give Becky the benefit of the doubt. And I'll just leave it at that because I think that she has say in that. I would suggest that. I could be wrong, but I get the feeling that's the case. Ricky says, I don't know why we need a nitpick crowd response as if to someone is a heel or not. What matters is the actual content of the story. The problem is the crowd is so integral to that. They tried to turn Becky heel, and the crowd didn't let them because they loved what they saw. The crowd is, because we're not in Thunderdome anymore when they can just do whatever they want to do. They could turn the channel to people doing this instead of people doing this. The crowd does matter. If the crowd doesn't buy into this and they start booing Bianca when she's supposed to be the one who's gaining the sympathy of the crowd, that's a failure. It's a failure. I mean, look at, you can't call like what happened to Roman Reigns for years, like a success story. So that's
and
what
I don't
stand.
want to make it seem like I don't have faith in Becky. I do. It's just, we've seen it before where they try to, with Becky last time, when they tried to turn her heel and didn't work. We've seen it play out before, and I don't want to be a situation where they try it, it doesn't work, and the one who ends up getting the short end of the whole deal would be Bianca. Where she's done incredible work, over the last year pretty much, and she's put in the work. She had a great moment against Sasha at Mania, won the title, and to have all that kind of come undone because creative plans don't work, and then they're like, okay, well, we can't make Becky heel, or we got to make Bianca heel now, and then just have the whole creative aspect of it get muddled again. Like, Becky's great, Bianca's great. I have no doubt that they will take what either is given to them or whatever and make the best of it. And I have faith in them, but WB Creative, it's hard for me to put a lot of faith in what they do a lot of time. It's just, until I see it, I kind of have to be pessimistic. It's just the way I'm wired this juncture.
All right.
Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Several years ago, while dealing with severe anxiety, I learned the importance of talking to a therapist, but also discovered that it could be extremely difficult to find the right person to talk to. Today, BetterHelp is providing a safe and private online environment where your needs will be assessed, and you'll be matched with your own licensed personal therapist.
BetterHelp isn't a crisis line, nor is it self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online, all without having to ever sit in another uncomfortable waiting room.
BetterHelp is dedicated to facilitating great therapeutic matches. Send your counselor messages at any time or schedule regular phone or video sessions. And they've made it free and easy to change therapists if needed.
And you don't have to limit yourself to counselors in your area. BetterHelp services are available worldwide, so you can find the expertise you need regardless of location.
We want you to start living a happier life today. As a Going In Raw listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/raw. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health.
Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Before we get back to the show, let's get a word from our sponsor, Craig. Steve, I've been feeling like I want to take up a new hobby. I want to start making stuff out of wood with these hands of mine, but I really have no idea where to start. Where do I start?
Okay. Well, you want to get into woodworking, huh?
That's correct.
Well, I was once like you, Larson, feeling the urge to craft something with these hands of mine, but unsure if I could do so. But then I got these hands of mine on a Craig Pocket Hole Jig 520 Pro. Craig has been the innovator and leader in pocket hole joinery, setting the standard for 30 plus years. And now if I got my Craig Pocket Hole Jig 520 Pro and a drill, I feel like I can build nearly anything from bookcases to desks to outdoor patio furniture.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Tell me more, please.
Sure, I'll tell you more. You see, pocket hole joinery is a way of creating fast, simple, and strong joints in a variety of wood projects. And the Craig Pocket Hole Jig 520 Pro makes it easier than ever. You know me, Larson, I've never been terribly handy, and the thought of building something out of wood with these hands of mine seemed like a pipe dream. But after going to craigtool.com, that's KREG tool.com, and getting my hands on a Craig Pocket Hole Jig 520 Pro, I can build pocket hole projects anytime, anywhere.
Impressive. That's really impressive, Steve.
I know.
It's really impressive. I got a question for you, though. You see this wall back here with nothing on it.
Yeah.
I could use a bookcase back there. Can you make me a bookcase to go on that wall?
That wall right there?
That one.
No, Larson. Do you know why, though?
Why?
Because you could do it yourself. Now, anyone, even Larson, can easily create perfect and strong pocket hole joints with the Craig Pocket Hole Jig 520 Pro. It works with a wide variety and size of material and is great for building all types of indoor and outdoor wood projects.
The Craig Pocket Hole Jig 520 Pro comes with everything you need and retails for just $99.99. It's available nationwide at Home Depot, Lowe's, and other home centers, woodworking, and hardware stores. Learn more at craigtool.com. That's KREG tool.com.
Again, that's craigtool.com, KREG tool.com. Let's go ahead and kick off this episode. The Usos come out to take on, oh man, hey, you know what? I was wrong. The championship contender matches are back. Now, the question is, though, is the fad back? Is this going to be something we're going to see another one? Because even at the end of this match, during the match, at the beginning of it, Cole says, this is a championship contender match. If they win this, they'll be in really good position to be a contender. If it's a contender match, if they win it, doesn't that mean that they're a number one contender, that they are
if they win, that
number
means
one contender?
No, if they win, that means they are a contender. And they have to win another one to show that they are one of maybe two contenders. And they have to win another one to show that they are the contender.
Yeah.
So we get Roman. He's watching this whole match backstage. Usos drop a quick promo. Pretty much saying they don't know why the Profits would want to stick their nose in the family business. Are they trying to make a name for themselves or prove themselves against us? Jay says they disrespected the bloodline. They want to prove themselves. They got to prove themselves against 7-time champs. Street Profits come out, and Ford kind of mocks them. Saying, "Oh, we embarrassed you in front of Roman last week." And Dawkins says, "I wonder what you're doing in the ring without Roman signing your permission slips." And then Ford says, "We're about to whoop your ass," and then the match starts.
You know what I kind of want from the Street Profits? I want some new gear. Their stuff is very simple.
Why Montez wore those boxing shorts that one week? Those are great.
Yeah, they looked all right. Go
back to those.
Yeah.
They look great.
I feel like they're, Street Profits. If Profits he's never said Profits are down, which means they've had like in perpetuity, they've had profits. Perpetual growth in revenue. Invest in your attire because it's so bland. It looks like indie gear. I was looking at it tonight. I'm like, I don't know if Bianca does their gear because I know she does her own. And her gear,
it's all amazing.
Her gear is amazing. It's immaculate. Can she hook him up? Can she help him out? Or are they asking her maybe, hey, honey, we want some more elaborate stuff? I'm working on this week's gear for me. Oh, man. Anyways, this is a fun match. Kind of a wonky ending. The Usos get DQ'd because Jimmy starts tossing Montez Ford into the ring post a lot. And if I'm not mistaken, Jimmy wasn't even the legal guy.
No, that's why it was a DQ.
Okay, yeah.
Well, he didn't listen to the ref. I guess if you don't listen to the ref for long enough, he'll toss the match.
Yeah, I'm this guy. Do this, yeah. So afterwards, Roman tells Paul to summon the Usos, and Paul leaves. He gets on his phone, and Kayla sneaks up behind him, and he freaks out. And so as he's answering a question of hers, his phone rings. And he has programmed his phone so that the theme song of the person calling him plays. And in this case, it's Brock Lesnar's theme song. Very clever. And he ignores it. He sends it to voicemail because he doesn't want to have this conversation in front of a camera and Kayla. Well, Brock calls right back. So he picks it up and he sort of, yes, okay. Well, there's not a lot of privacy right now. Okay, I'll deliver the message. And he's like super stressed out. And then he runs into the janitor. And the janitor is just Big E, who's laughing again with his money in the bank briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, we've got Becky Lynch.
Yeah. So she comes to the ring. She says last week during her return, she walked down the ring. No, you deserve a chance, but all right. And the crowd just instantly starts chanting, you deserve it. She said she talked about her victory at SummerSlam until she was interrupted by basically the entire women's locker room, but she didn't get to talk about Bianca. And it seemed like there was a smattering of boos there. Becky says Bianca is the most athletic woman in WWE and the only woman other than her to win the main event at WrestleMania. She was looking forward to going toe-to-toe with her, but now she's being portrayed after what happened at SummerSlam as the bad guy. She says, when Sasha went down, I was called to fill in. I've been preparing for that moment ever since I had to leave. Bianca wasn't ready, so she doesn't get a cry about things. Just because she hasn't played the game in a while doesn't mean that's what Becky said. Just because she hadn't played the game in a while doesn't mean she doesn't know how to win. She says Bianca may be able to fool people with her flips, but you can't replace experience. And all it took was one flip of my fist to end Bianca's title reign. So this brings Bianca to the ring. The EST chants.
The crowd. They were definitely into her. So she says, let's see here. Yeah. So she says, Becky, the title is more than just that. Championship is more than a title to me. She says the moment at SummerSlam, it just keeps on replaying in my head and replaying in my head. I accomplished so much with that thing, and then I lost it all in 26 seconds. She said, I was embarrassed, and it still hurts. But that's my truth. And what I'm not going to do is bring myself up by bringing another woman down, and I'll never make excuses for myself. You don't know me, so I'm going to explain to you why I'm the EST. When I take back the title, I'll be known as the Great Est. I earned my rematch, and so it's not a matter of if, but when. She says, Roman is defending his title tonight. How about you do the same thing as Roman? And the crowd's all into it. They're like super into it, and Becky's kind of milking it. There's yes chance. Becky's milking it, and she says, I don't give a damn what Roman does. The answer is no. And Bianca just sort of stands there. And I was just, this is the thing. The performance sucks me in because I'm like, oh, Bianca, get that last word in. Call her a coward. Do something, But then it's like Becky or Bianca just knows I'll get my shot. I don't need to get the last word.
She earned it. She earned her shot.
Yeah.
She'll get it. Next, we got the Dirty Dogs walking backstage. They're chatting amongst each other. And then Dolph stops as they're walking to chat with Tony Storm, and he says something like, "Oh, he makes a Motley Crue reference. Can't remember exactly what it was. Like you enjoy living on the wild side or something."
Okay, yeah.
It was a Motley Crue reference.
Yeah.
And so he says, "Hey, you got to check out my match. I have some pull. You can come watch ringside, and I'll tell Robert Roode, his partner, to stay in back." And Tony Storm says, "Dolph, you're great, but I'm actually rooting for Rick Boogz." And he's like, "Oh yeah, Rick's really good. Okay, cool."
Nice
and he just
guy.
walks off.
Yeah.
He just leaves.
Yeah.
And so we had Rick Boogz versus Dolph Ziggler. It's interesting to me. Wait, Steve.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
Rick Boogz is a musician.
Uh-huh.
Why does he have Nakamura's theme song? Yes, Larson.
I've questioned Rick Boogz is fine and all, but he's getting a push. Why isn't the Intercontinental Champion getting a push?
Right. Because Rick Boogz is an attraction. That's why
I know
he's
the
an
answer.
Attraction.
He beat Dolph in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, man, he's a monster. He beat they were in the tag match last week, right? And he pinned, I think, was it Dolph or Rude that he pinned last week? I forget, but man,
I forget too.
He's on a tear.
The week before that, he pinned Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
In a tag match. So Rick Boogz is getting a push. Yeah, he comes out to Nakamura's music. And then after Boogz gets the win, Nakamura goes and gets his guitar and slides in the ring and gives it to him.
Nakamura, the Intercontinental Champion, is Boogz' manager.
I mean,
is this a new thing with WWE? They make like people who should be actually fighting managers for people?
I guess so. That's what happened to Pete Dunne in NXT. Let me get a.
No, what were you about to say? You were shrugging. You're
I mean, you're saying well, Nakamura is Boogz' manager. If in the music industry, if someone gets your instrument for you and gives it to you.
Oh, the roadie. Oh, you didn't know?
So we see Becky walking backstage. Sonya Deville, Adam Pearce step up to her and says, essentially, hey, protest all you want. Bianca's getting her title shot, and it's going to happen at Extreme Rules, and next week at Madison Square Garden, you and Bianca are going to sign the contract to make it official. And Becky seems upset about it.
Not happy about that one. I swear I saw the graphic for Becky versus Bianca at Extreme Rules like earlier this week. Maybe somebody had just mocked it up in Photoshop. I don't know. But it seems like one of those things. It would not shock me if WWE put it out on their Twitter like on Wednesday, and then like it was storyline set up tonight.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's going to be a good contract signing, though. Seth Rollins, who's doing career work right now, in my opinion. Just great work, has an interview. He's got a match with Cesaro. And earlier today on our news brief, we were like, why the hell are they running this back? And they kayfabe the rematch. I love that. If you're gonna do a rematch or any match, there should be a reason behind it. So Seth is great in these interviews. He says, tonight's the perfect opportunity for a new... He was asked, why did you request this rematch? He said, well, tonight is a perfect opportunity for a new beginning. And he goes between like motivational speaker and completely broken, Because he's like, oh, Edge is my favorite now. I totally get it. I watched his matches. He's basically obsessed with me. He says, I've watched my Edge match 1,000,000 times now, and Edge has become an inspiration for me. I've watched maybe every match in his career to this point, and I found what he did to beat me at SummerSlam. I'm a revolutionary, a visionary. I'm Seth freaking Rollins. So he says that I didn't even mention the part about him kayfabing the match, but he basically says he set the match up so that he sort of go back to the beginning and figure out what he did wrong.
Well, he said, I'm going to take the information I learned watching all those Edge matches and losing to him and apply it now.
And he did that in the match. After that, we had Cesaro versus Rollins.
He just used Edge's moves.
Well, that's what he did. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is great, which is awesome. I love that stuff. So Rollins hits an Edge-o-matic, loads up a stomp. Cesaro counters with a power bomb. Cesaro keeps on trying the swing. Rollins counters it, I think, twice, and then Cesaro actually hits it. Gets a sharpshooter, but Rollins gets to the rope pretty quick. Cesaro sort of knocks Rollins out of the ring, and then Cesaro comes running after him. Seth gets a chair up and hits Cesaro with it for the DQ.
That puts him in the deal.
And then he gets Cesaro in there, lays him out, and he gets the chair brace, puts him in the deal. Yeah.
And then he stomps him, looking for a concerto. Then Edge runs out to make the save.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we're backstage. Roman's talking to the Usos, tells them, stick to the script. Let's run this game tonight. Usos leave. Heyman tells Roman that they have a problem. And Roman says, I ain't got no problems. I'm going to smash Finn tonight.
This was great. He says, no. We have a problem with Brock Lesnar. You have a problem with Brock Lesnar. I'm going to smash Brock Lesnar when I see him again. And Roman is next level at this point. His facial reactions, everything. You have a problem with Brock. I'm going to smash him next time I see him.
Yeah.
And he says, Heyman says, he called me on the phone. He's going to be at Smackdown next week. And Reigns says, oh, you think he's watching tonight? And he was like, yeah, in Saskatchewan. And he's like, how do you know he's in Saskatchewan? And he's like, oh, I don't know, maybe Minnesota. And Roman says, how do you know he's not here tonight? And Heyman goes, gasps. Roman is so damn good. Smash awesome. Finn tonight. I don't have a problem. I'm going to smash Finn tonight. I'm going to smash Brock next time I see him.
It's so good. It's so good.
The arrogance is
amazing.
delivery.
It's off the charts. It's off the charts.
Did you see? There's that Brandon Thurston post that tweet about CM Punk rising up the Google trending charts.
Yeah.
To number 4 behind Roman Reigns. I love that. I love that. That's so great.
It's so great. Next, we get a quick shot of Happy Corbin. He's arriving at the arena in a Rolls Royce. He gets out. Mackenzie Mitchell walks up to him to do an interview, and he's like, oh, you're the valet. He gives her the keys and says, don't scratch the car.
I hope he continues that thread whenever she tries to interview him. Oh, it used to be the valet.
So after that, we got an Edge interview. He's like, I was hoping I was done with Seth this whole time. But this whole time we talked about how alike we are. So I know the game he's playing and it has to stop. And then he turns and talks right to camera. So talking to you, Seth. Challenge you to a match next week on SmackDown, Madison Square Garden. I burned you down once, and when I do it again, you won't be the same. Seth, I told you this doesn't end well.
I'm just thinking of Roman again, dude. Oh, I'm a Smash fan. I ain't got no problems. Oh, Brock.
You got I ain't got no problem. I got no Brock problem. You got the Brock problem.
I'm going to smash him next time I see him. Man, what a great philosophy in life. Oh, got a tax bill. I'm going to smash it.
Smash it.
Oh, Smud bill came in? I'm going to smash it.
Smash it.
Anyways.
Got 2 bills, so just smash them, stack them.
That we
had
on auto
pay.
But on auto pay, exactly. We had Kevin Owens show, the KO show. Happy Corbin's so happy to be there. Corbin's like, I know your problem is. You want your $100 back, right? He says, I left my wallet in the Rolls Royce outside, but I know who does have it. My special guest, Logan Paul. Kevin Owens like, your special guest is my show. I never invited him on here.
Yeah.
So the idiot Logan Paul comes out, and he was like, "What is going on between the two of you? Correct me if I'm wrong, but after you lost to Big E, didn't he call you an at?" And Corbin's like, "Yeah," because there's a backstage thing where Logan Paul called him an asshole, and Corbin's like, "Yeah, man, but I took it as a compliment." And Paul was like, "Yeah, we're all good now." He said, "After my brother beat what was his name, Tyrone Woodley? Is that his name?" He says, "He's like, yeah, we hung out." And he was like, that sounds like the worst thing ever, the two of you just hanging out. And he says, but it makes sense you being buddies. Here we have one of the most self-centered, delusional pieces of trash to ever step foot in a WWE ring, Logan Paul and Baron Corbin too.
Yeah.
Of course, he did the old switcheroo there. Logan says, are you sure you want to talk like that to a guy who's going to give you $100? Because you look like you need it. And Kevin says, I don't want your money. I just want you to turn around, walk out, and never come back again. And then Owens and Logan Paul are about to go at each other. You know, he takes off, he does the switch to the hat. Owens takes off his tie, and they're about to go at it. And Corbin's laughing. Owens goes to attack Logan Paul, and Corbin cheap shots him, I think with the mic, and then choke slams him, leaves him laying. So they're in a thing now.
Yeah, then Logan Paul throws $100 at Kevin Owens.
Yeah, we mentioned this in the during the Rampage thing. As much as I can't stand Logan Paul, and I always cringe when I hear his name, be it within the context of if he's going to show up on WWE program, when he does show up, the dude knows how to entertain. He does know how to work heel, and he doesn't stammer, or he's not cringy. He's good at what he does when he's in the WWE. Yeah.
It kind of pains me to say it, but yes, you're right.
I don't like saying that, but it's the truth.
Yep. Next, this was weird. So they had this vignette for
this
Carmella, hyping her up as the most beautiful woman in WWE. But then the camera pans over and Liv Morgan's standing there, and she's like, essentially just goes, all right. And that was it.
It was like, and the weird thing was, I feel like it was done with one of their normal backstage cameras.
Yeah.
But they just added like a smoke filter or something to it.
Some diffusion or something like that.
So it just looked cheap, like it was going to be an interview. Like it just looked like a backstage segment, but they had like introducing the most beautiful woman in WWE, Carmella. And then, like you said, the camera sort of pans out and Liv goes, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for people. They probably got a bigger payday for being on TV, and that's good. But it's just weird. It
is weird. Here's a rematch that wasn't exactly 100% motivated. Sami Zayn versus Dominic Mysterio, unless it's just raised like, hey, you lost this guy last week. Try to beat him this week. See if you can learn.
Yeah.
So this match happened. Dom's looking for a 619. Sami rolls out of the ring. He starts to walk up the ramp. And Ray, who's supposed to let his son out there fight his own battles now.
He can't stay the hell away. His son was about to pick up a count-out victory.
Yeah.
Which is a victory. I know WWE
it's a win.
It's a win. It goes to his record. You can get on Pro Fight DB and see his name on the left-hand side, not the right-hand side.
Exactly. And so Ray comes out and keeps Sami from walking up the ramp. Mm-hmm. So Sami comes back down the ring. Dom hits him with the tope, puts Sami back in the ring. And he has to take the time to tell Ray, I got this. I don't worry about it. I got it. So he gets back in the ring. He's taking enough time. Sammy gets up, haluva kick right to the face. Sammy wins.
Boom. Just like that. Yeah. Yeesh. After that, Sonya Deville is on the phone talking to somebody named Karen. Naomi finds her. She's all dressed up, ready to go. She says, hey, you told me last week to ask you about my match this week. Sonya says, oh, I forgot about that. Find me next week. How many weeks is this going to go on?
4.
That sounds right. Yeah. After that, prior to the Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns match, we had a Finterview. He says, I've been asked the same questions. What would have happened if I didn't get injured in 2016? Tonight, I answer the questions. He gets his ass kicked. He goes out there and he gets his ass kicked before the bell by the Usos. They smash him into the stairs.
Oh, man, they beat the hell out of him.
Street Profits take their sweet time making the save, but they do make the save. And then we get this match. Killer match. Balor with a huge babyface comeback. Misses a coup de grace at first. Gets an inside cradle for 2. Shotgun drop kick. Hits the coup de grace. Only gets 2. Reigns kicks out with that low blow we had talked about earlier, where his arm is sort of in between Finn's crotch area. And when he kicks out, boom.
Yeah.
And then he gets on Balor, starts pounding on him, gets the guillotine on. Finn passes out.
Yeah. I like the early part of this match where Finn would try to mount a little bit of comeback, hit like a basement drop kick, and Roman try to take out his leg, and Roman just kind of brush it off. But Finn kept chipping away. So finally he was able to string together a decent amount of offense. And the way the between the performances of both competitors and the way the match was constructed, by the time Finn hit that final coup de grace, I was like, Roman's winning.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I was on the edge of my seat, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He was that close to it.
The crowd was super into this too.
Yep.
It was a good crowd tonight. Yeah.
It was a good crowd.
Good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and answer some questions. I'm sure some of our Twitch chatters have some questions, and I've got a Smackdown question thread here on the Patreon.
Theo Third Anarchist said, just went back and watched the end of Smackdown. That was 100% red light and a heartbeat. Demon T is most likely. Then yes, if there's a heartbeat, then that's most likely a Demon Tease as opposed to. I mean, because if it was a Brock thing, that's kind of out of character.
Yeah, I just want to go.
For them just to, for Brock to call up somebody in the production truck. Hey, flip the switch so my light goes on for half a second. You know.
Bang.
I know. Bang.
That's. Bang. Gregory Fiala, will Boogz ever win the top championship in WWE?
Not with this character, no.
With this character, no. You're absolutely right. So this iteration of Boogz, no. But I think that dude, he's got the look, he's got the potential. I think if he's packaged in the right way, he has good creative, it's possible.
I mean, right now, he might get in the mid-card title conversation, but I mean, really, the ceiling is more or less Elias.
Hard to argue that. It's hard to argue that, yeah.
With this version of the character.
Yeah. It's funny because I find him more entertaining than Elias, but with less dimension than Elias.
Yeah.
Like, he's clearly just a one-dimensional, he's a
1,000%.
He's a gag. He's a, you know.
Yeah.
He's not like a real human.
He literally goes out there and does the same thing week in and week out.
Yeah.
Nothing different. Spectre J, what happened to all the NXT call-ups other than Cross? Are they waiting for the draft? If they are, why do nothing with them for months when they could be on NXT in the meantime?
We got nothing for you. Come back next week.
They called Tony Storm, Tegan Knox, and Shotzi, and Cross.
Knox and Shotzi had a dark match with, I think they were teaming with Bianca or something. Somebody in our chat mentioned that I think she was teaming with Bianca, maybe. I forget.
And then Bronson Reed had a dark match, and he got released.
Yeah.
Dakota Kai had a match on main event. I don't know if that is a harbinger for an impending call-up or just we need someone to wrestle on main event.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean,
she wrestled Aaliyah.
Mia Yim's been in purgatory for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, I assume they're probably waiting for the draft for some of them. But I think there's also just a whole lot of who knows. Like Bruce Pritchard is supposed to be going to the Performance Center, I think this weekend or something.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? Let's see here. Sent Merc says, some fantasy booking and questions to follow. What I want to see from Dom is to have him adopt his own luchador identity that has nothing to do with Rey Mysterio. He's obviously Dom Mysterio. The mask can't hide that. Lanky kid. He's like, oh, who's this masked man? Let's see here. He's obviously, listen to this. This is great. He's obviously Dom. The mask can't hide that. And this new luchador came out of nowhere. But he violently denies it and snaps on anyone who says he's Dom Mysterio. Eventually, wow. Ray challenges to a mask versus mask match in an attempt to save Dom from his denial and brewing madness. Now the question is, what is Dom's luchador identity and who goes over? What's the opposite of a mystery? A certainty. What's a Spanish word for something that's certain? What's a Don't know. Let's see here. Certain in Spanish. Cierto. That has a cool ring to it.
Yeah.
Ultimo cierto.
Oh, that's good.
The ultimate certainty. Oh, that's pretty good.
It's not bad.
I like that.
It's not bad. Quoth the Raven, was I the only one that thought the ref counted the 3 on the first roll-up before Finn hit the coup de grace? Roman is so good at waiting until the ref's hand is like a millimeter off the mat before kicking out.
Mm-hmm.
That coup de grace, I thought that's the way Roman was laying there. He wasn't even looking at the ref, really.
Yeah.
He kicked out the last possible millisecond.
Dang, MQ says Dom is El Walter. What's Spanish for ring general?
White Brownie says, do we get Roman at Extreme Rules? And if so, do we get a rematch with Demon Finn? Probably,
right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Jorge D. Everyone is loving Happy Corbin, but an equally important question: how would Happy Steve and Larson be as characters if we had all that money? I'd be like the Young Bucks wearing their shoes.
Yeah, okay.
I'd have a massive Stock X bill.
I was on Stock X today.
Oh, what are you looking for?
Some Jordan 4s and 5s.
I
was on Stock X. There was another one too I was looking at. Just looking though. Some of those are really nice looking shoes.
I know. Some of them are very expensive, nice looking shoes.
Yeah, I don't need any of the ones that like there's just some retro 4s and 5s out there that have been released. They're not even like the super rare ones, you know. There's like a couple that I saw for like $150.
Yeah.
Or 200. Man, took everything I had not to hit that button. Mr. Sinister says, so with the WWE's wonky rules, who should come down next week and sign the contract for the women's title match? Oh, Naomi. Probably. That's a good one. So he said Naomi.
Oh, that would be good. I
like that.
Zoe Kinrana, what do you think of Becky getting new music so the crowd doesn't immediately pop when her music hits? It's not a bad idea.
It's not a terrible idea at all, yeah.
But I think that's something that they'd probably do when it's clear that we're getting heel Becky. You know what I mean?
Repackaging, yeah. Wolfpack for Life says, in light of the championship contender match, make the next Vinceism. We've had this question before, but I always like it. The next weird thing that Vince is going to do.
Everything's beat the clock challenges.
He'll do a picture-in-picture interviews, but you can't hear them. It's just going to be like a person talking in a microphone.
What about picture-in-picture interviews during interviews?
That's very good. Is it just two people to like both interviews happening audio wise?
Yeah,
you just hear it all
simultaneously. Yes, you understand it. Yes.
Can you answer a question while I'm talking and answering my question?
We'll try.
Okay,
go ahead and start talking.
Hold on a second. What's the question for me, and I'll give you a question. You're heading into this big rematch today against Sami Zayn, Larson.
Monstrosity says, I feel like it's going to be stiff competition, but at the same time,
I got a lot of words for this Roman Reigns. I think that this guy has got his head completely up his ass, and I'm looking forward to seeing what I could do against him.
That's what it'd be like. Monstrosity wants to know, does Brock versus Roman need the world title?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it has to have it. As much as I want that world title in like a more, I'm not going to say interesting situation because Roman's great. It's just you know that he's always going to have it. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. This is an interesting question. Eddie Brock's Venom, not wrestling, but what's your favorite GTA game, and what was your first one that you ever played? My favorite is just the one that's out now because you could literally do everything in it. It's insane.
Yeah, same. First one I ever played was 3.
I think I played 3 also. I think I did because that was the hugely controversial one, you know. Oh, they've got hookers and stuff. I guess sex workers is the term now. Anthony R says, what is the best looking title currently? He says his pick is the UK title. Of all the titles currently active, what's the best looking title?
Matt Cardona's GCW spinner title.
There's no better answer. There's no better answer. You're completely right. You are 100,000% right. That is the right answer. On that note, we're going to call it a night. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll raid somebody. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.